Uppy. It's One Funny Morning. I'm Dana Blizzard, and it's too early in the morning. This is the dumbest show in the whole world.
From Monday
to Friday. Sometimes on Saturdays.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
Dean stinks.
You never know what's gonna happen.
That's your Dateline voice?
I don't know.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't.
It's not a chicken leg. This is a chicken leg.
Look at that manhole cover on my face.
Not a bad rendition of me. Hold on.
It's such a small town. So if you're walking, people just be like, "Do you want to ride?" It's like they don't need Uber. They just have.
What?
They just pull over. They give you a honk, and they're like, "We know your brother. We'll give you a ride to school or whatever."
That's called
our small
murder
town.
in New Jersey.
What's outside your Puerto Rico?
Best selling! Yeah!
Hi, it's just Kathy here with Flat Judy on the coast of Portugal. And we're having a wonderful time looking at all the sights, watching the surfers and these strange birds that are flying around. So I just wanted to say hello. We're here till at least Thursday. So have a good time, one and all. I'm about 5 hours ahead of you, so I can pick up One Funny Morning at about maybe 12 or 1, so I don't have to get up too early. All right, take it away, Miss Dina Blizzard. Have a good day. Bye.
Good morning. How is everybody? Yeah, Flat Judy she is in Puerto Rico. It's beautiful. Makes you want to go somewhere beautiful. So good morning, everybody. What's happening with the audio today? I don't know. Is the audio wonky? I can't be responsible for that. It might have just been in the video. Good morning, TikTok. How is everybody? Hello, Kim. We are on our countdown officially because, I don't know, we leave next Friday. So is today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, we agree. So it's 10 days until the trip-ish. They did look like sisters. They looked very similar to each other. So last day of school. Oh, we're getting into it. So for all of our teachers, welcome back. If you are joining us, just back from all of you getting able to be complete for the season, retire the year. Perhaps somebody's retiring in general. Who knows? But all good things. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in New Jersey, hopefully up soggy Saskatoon. I want to trade places with Flat Judy. Flat Judy's having a great time. I can't wait until Judy goes on her vacation. She's going on a fancy vacation soon. And we actually see the real Judy. Judy, when you're on vacation, will you send me a video every day and we can play it and we can just follow along? I love catching you live now that school's out. Jane, we're happy to have you back. We usually have an influx of teachers once the June time hits. So welcome back to all of our teachers. Yes, let me show you my favorite shirt. My sister, Carrie, it's so funny. My sister was like, she called last week. I may not have been in the best mood. I was having an Eeyore day. I was like, womp womp. She's like, what's going on? I was like, this is happening, the stupid leg, none of the kids, and I'm rolling around. Just not a good day. She's like, I'm going to send you a care package. So she sent me a couple things, but this is the shirt she sent me and I love it. Ready? It says, I do all my own stunts. And then person breaking their leg. So that's who I am today. It's my favorite new shirt. I believe is it Christmas already? It is here. So no more students. First free work day to get stuff accomplished. Our kids go to the end of June 27. That's so crazy. Because I know some kids are out of school by like the end of May. I think that's down south, but they also go back to school a lot earlier. Leslie, you do. Leslie, you and I could be matching on the trip. It is the perfect shirt. So Leslie, if you get it, I cut out the collar. It had it was like a big collar. So I cut it out. You can go online, guys, and put it. Did you ever do the tutorial that says how to cut a shirt like this?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So it cut off the sleeves, it cut off the collar. Yeah. I did. Thanks, Michelle. So Finance Michelle is with us today. So she is giving fashion advice as well as finance advice, which we love. I must confess, since I returned from Portugal, Duolingo has no longer controlled my life. Maybe I can switch to French. I got to get back to my Duolingo. I'm in Manitoba, Canada. Laura, you've been done since May 21st. That's amazing. I'm interested to get y'all's take. She said y'all's take on Nashville, hoping you get to see more than just our typical downtown. I don't know. Patty, you have to tell us what that is. So anyway, so hopefully everybody's having a great week. Just a reminder, it's Tuesday in case you check out emotionally and don't really know what day it is. Tonight, what does your shirt say? It says I do all my own stunts, which is why my leg is broken. So it was a joke, Joanne, and I love it. So I'm going to wear it all day today. I know I do save money doing all my own alterations. So it's fabulous. Anywho, so let's get started. So today, every Tuesday, we've been doing a series called Tip Tuesday, and we are focusing on finances. And so we've discussed everything from divorces to kind of being in that sandwich generation and trying the best ways to kind of plan for if you are caring for parents as well as also caring for young ones. Did we do 529s last week? Right? We did 529s last week. Thank God Michelle's here to tell me. And today, Michelle, come on in. What are we talking about? She told me before, but I don't remember.
Today, we're talking about saving money by doing all your own alterations.
See,
we're talking about budgeting, debt, and how to hopefully create a budget for yourself and manage your finances a little bit better, which is always an interesting topic because the first thing people are going to say is, well, I don't have any money, so how am I going to create a budget?
Thank you. And thank you for watching. That's the end of our show, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this like a fun topic to talk about? Because debt I don't like it.
Can't you make any topic fun?
I don't know. You tell me.
You tell me. How many eulogies did you get emailed to you?
I didn't get one eulogy.
Whoa.
Yeah. So now I'm going to have to write my own.
Okay.
It's going to be dangerous.
Well,
budgeting and debt. So should everybody have a budget? That's my first question. Watch out for that, Michelle. It's a dumb dog. He pulls it down.
The dog does his own stunts too.
Yeah, he does. You have to pull that up or it's going to go down.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Michelle also works on the tech crew here.
I do.
So
it's my second job.
It is.
Okay. I love this dog.
Go get in your bed now. Can you open that cage door? You might be trying, Michelle.
You sound like me on my dates.
Get up. No, we're done here.
Get in your bed.
Get up. Get in your bedtime. It's too much for me. Lulu, you're fine. Colby, get into your bed. Do you understand? This is my life.
This is my life too. I love this kind of chaos.
Okay. Watch, his foot is there. There's a foot right. Okay.
Sorry. Do I lock it or just no?
Yeah, lock it because we're not going to do this again. He's fine. He likes it in there. He's very content. It's probably right where he was trying to get to begin with, but the door was shut.
We're back.
So we're back, everybody. Sometimes we like to just take a little quick detour to fix everything. All right, so here we go. Finance Michelle is doing her own stunts now as well.
I am.
So first question is, should everybody have a budget?
Yes, everyone should have a budget. Unless you're unlimited, independently wealthy. Then
what if you have no money?
Then you should definitely have a budget. Because how do you know why you have no money if you're not?
I think we all know why people don't have any money because there's not as much money coming in as there is going out.
But what if there's more money coming in than you think, but you're just not allocating it appropriately?
I think that's right, Michelle.
That happens, right? I used to teach college students, and one of the things I would say to them is I would give extra credit for this assignment.
Okay.
Save all your receipts for 1 month, then bring them in if you're brave enough, and we put everything on the board that they spent. So no judgment, but judgment in front of everyone. right? So it was all, but they don't have receipts. Everything is like digital.
Oh yeah.
Which is also part of the problem. Why people like.
Oh, because it's out of sight, out of mind. You
Right.
don't even see it.
Right. Like, remember the whole balancing your checkbook? When's the last time you balanced your checkbook?
Never.
Never?
I mean, when I was younger, but I don't anymore.
Then why'd you stop?
Michelle, who uses a checkbook?
People write checks.
Who? Michelle, who are you hanging out
People
with?
who still writes checks.
Who still writes a check? Like maybe once a month. Do you think there are people that write checks?
Yes.
Do you write checks?
No, but they're always in front of me at the self-checkout. And I'm like, you can't write a check at the self-checkout.
Nobody's writing
People,
checks.
there was somebody
not on a regular
6
basis.
weeks ago at the grocery store writing a check in front of me. And I was like, this is 10 items or less and no checks. But people do. Old school people.
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe
well,
2 a year.
online, but
So
you can
Ginny
pay your
writes
bills
them-
online.
Ginny writes them for her bills.
Haven't
See?
written a check in 20 years. I write about 4 a month. I would say 3 to 4 a month.
People still write checks. I'm just saying. In certain parts
So,
of the
but
country.
I have not. When's the last time you guys have balanced a checkbook? I just go online and look at the account now.
You look at the balance.
Yeah.
But then how do
But
you,
I don't write it in a.
But how do you reconcile the spending?
Michelle, I don't like how you're talking to me. The curse words that you're using, like reconcile my account.
This is financial therapy.
Am I supposed to reconcile?
Yes. How do you know if you spend too much money in one category?
I'm supposed to have categories.
Yes. Even just something as simple as like,
She's talking crazy. No, I think she showed up.
if
to
you're
work
under
drunk.
60, you don't choose. That's not true. People still send my kids checks, like for like holidays.
Oh yeah, for birthdays.
My
No,
my
don't we
kids are
just
like,
Venmo? You kids don't
What?
Venmo?
You Venmo a gift?
Yeah, to my nieces and nephews for
Really?
sure. Yeah, they're all out of state,
Oh.
so I Venmo. I don't have time for this.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
categories. She's so crazy.
You need categories.
Yeah, see, somebody
check
just said,
your
I check
thing.
my online daily things to make sure that everything went through.
Okay.
Are we
Here's
supposed to be doing that, Michelle?
what?
Balancing?
Well,
things?
let me ask you a question.
I think the answer is no. I don't know what the question is.
I was going to ask you to come to yoga.
What?
I was going to ask if you want to come to yoga.
With one leg? One-legged yoga?
Yeah. Well, or when you heal, but like, would you like to come to my yoga studio?
Yeah, sure.
Everyone heard. I'm looking for a solid commitment.
Oh, I thought this was going somewhere. You're like, okay, well, if you go to the yoga studio, you're going to need a check. I thought this was like you unpacking something.
No, but you immediately answered no, and you didn't know the question I was going to ask. So I brought in a real question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you committed.
I committed.
Can't wait. Okay. Because you'll be better at your stunts.
Okay, I will be on my right leg.
Yes,
I'll be
so-
really good.
So yoga studio, Dina's coming. I hope they don't fangirl you too much.
No one knows who I am but you.
Everyone knows who you are. And now everyone knows that you don't have a budget.
Wait, here's Pedro. Pedro said, I got fired from the bank yesterday. An old lady asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over. Dun-dun-dun.
When I used to work early on in my career, when I worked at a bank, they would come, certain generation, and they would say, can you help me balance my book? And we would sit there and have to and if they were a penny off, they would melt. That's how specific some people are with their budget. Wow. So let me ask you this. Are you making most of your purchases from your checking account or like on a credit card?
Oh, I don't use credit cards.
Oh, so you don't have any debt?
Not really. There was a while, and you tell me what you think about this, because I think that there are people who wholeheartedly agree with this, and I'm against it. Jim's whole thing when we were married was put everything on a credit card, pay it off, and then get the points. He was all about the points. The problem is that we were spending and not really budgeting. So we were overspending and we didn't have the money to pay it off every month. So then it just started to slowly creep up over time. And then at the end of the year, we owed. And then the tax return would come. And then the tax return was like kind of enough to pay off the debt we had accrued. So then at the end of the year, $0. And I just never liked it. My grandpa was always like a big proponent of, if you can afford it, pay for it in cash. Mm-hmm. So I only put stuff on credit cards that I know that I have the money for it in the bank.
Okay, that's good. I agree with that. Like to a certain extent. It depends all relative to each person's situation and what cash flow is, but the points can be good. But yes, so that's a good place to start for debt. So,
well, let me just ask this. Are you pro credit card or are you pro cash? Like, how do you live your life in general? Just to get an idea of where people are.
Credit card to the devil.
Cash is king. Because Leah's cash. I use credit card when I need the extra protection. I think it's, pro cash. Cash mostly, pro credit card, always. I'm pro credit card for the points. Pro cash debt free. Yeah. Credit cards would pay off.
So that's a good point.
I won't interrupt you.
How much do you think as a collective group, as Americans, we owe on credit cards?
The average?
No, like all of us together.
Oh, gajillion dollars.
Sort of.
Yeah.
How much do you think? Take a guess. It's in the billions.
4 billion.
4 billion.
Is that right?
986 billion is the credit card debt for like collectively as Americans.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
So, and we owe 11.92 trillion on mortgages, 1.5 trillion on vehicle loans, and 1.6 trillion on student loans.
You're stressing me out, Michelle.
I know. We should be stressed out.
And I'm the kind of person, I run our businesses. I have to on credit because of what I have to put out in order for us to do things sometimes. So I'm a fan of credit.
You need credit too. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, it's a really hard balance.
It is.
I think.
It is. Let me see what the comments are saying.
I used to be pro cash, but now I use credit cards and I really pay off transactions every week.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 968 billion, right? So, and that it's because some people, they have to use credit, right? Like for different reasons, they have to use their credit cards, but it's the carrying the balances. And then it becomes a bad cycle of just paying the minimum and then the interest rates. And with the interest rates on the rise, what's the average interest rate on a credit card?
Like 18%.
It's 16, but
okay.
That's not for everyone. There are some people, like we've seen 27%.
Yes. I had no idea that credit cards were charging everybody different interest.
Yes, they are.
It's based on your credit score, right?
Correct. Or like if you get 29%, 20%,
That's crazy.
it's based off of credit worthiness, maybe your history. If you miss a payment, they can increase your, all that fine print that we don't read when we get our credit cards.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a game of are points really worth it, right? And who has more debt? Men or women?
Women.
That's correct. Why'd you say that with such certainty?
Because we're the purchasers.
Oh.
Men would live in boxes with nothing on the walls and like a chair. They're not gatherers. They're hunters, we're gatherers. We make houses, so we're inevitably the ones who are purchasing.
Are you blaming Home Goods?
I blame Home Goods. For 900 trillion of that debt is mostly Home Goods.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, it could be Home Goods or other things that we buy. But how do we know what we're spending money on if we're not budgeting?
I don't know. Well, let me ask you this, because I feel like I've tried before to budget easier. Are you a proponent of there are budgeting apps? Is there one that you like?
So yes, but only for people that are already kind of know their categories. So here's what I mean.
Tell me a category. Like
discretionary spending.
That means whatever I want.
Correct. And what do you want?
I don't know. I just want to get through the month with money left in my account when it's over.
Okay. So do you ever buy something that you shouldn't?
Yeah, Michelle.
Like?
What kind of question is
Give me an example.
I just bought a whole bunch of summer dresses the other day because I was wearing my sister's summer dress yesterday and none of my kids do my laundry. So I had to buy some dresses for summer.
Is any kids lingering? Wait, why can't you just wear the same dress? Who cares if they wash it or not? Just wear like a uniform.
Just wear the same dress. Michelle, I'm live every day.
Would you guys care if you wear the same thing every day? Would anyone even say anything?
We're going to save money, everybody. I'm going to be in the same dress for a week. Every week.
I would love to see
This is my uniform. Blame Michelle.
Dina Blizzard uniform. I bet you'd save a lot of money. How much did you spend on the dresses?
Well, Michelle, if we're going to get real specific, yeah, the green shirt. I wore the crap out of that green shirt.
People are outing you on your repetitive.
They know the green shirt. Mm-hmm. I probably got 6 or 7 dresses, and I spent like $270.
Okay.
I think that's really good for that many dresses.
That's not bad. How many of them?
Chocolate Lab Lover was like, I will absolutely judge her.
How many of the 6 dresses do you think you'll actually wear?
Well, I think the question is how many will actually fit me, because they're on Amazon. So some might go back, and I might give some to the girls because we're all the same size. So,
and that's the online shopping is also like the death of budgeting, right? So when you went to the Amazon store,
yes,
did you have here's how much I can allocate toward my dresses?
Well, I look at it like this. I could go to a fancy store and get one dress for like $100 if it was like nice, 75 to 100 or whatever. Or I could get a couple of cheap dresses on the Amazon. Missy was like, I think you made an amazing purchase, and we'll both be broke.
I feel like you're avoiding my question.
Tell me, what's the question?
How did you know how much money you could afford to spend on the dresses in your monthly budget?
Michelle, because there was still money in the account, in my debit, so I just spent it.
What if it should have went to another category?
Michelle, I don't even have categories.
Well, do you have a dress category?
Yeah, discretion. 100% of my budget is discretionary, Michelle.
Oh, okay. And then you apparently don't need a budget.
That sometimes the lights aren't on.
but you look good in the dark in your new dress.
So I'll tell you this. Let me be more specific. I have a house account.
Okay.
That all my house bills get paid out of.
I love it. Okay. Perfect.
And then this account is for food, gas, the kids. I got a speeding ticket apparently from a robot the other day.
You personally?
Yeah. My first speeding ticket in 25 years for going 52 and a 40, which isn't even real, Michelle.
You were speeding with that leg?
Yeah. I probably was trying to get myself to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What were the categories? On my envelope system, I had the Chinese envelope system.
Okay,
I don't know why it was Chinese, but that's what they called it. So I had, when the kids were younger, I had one for music lessons. I had one for dogs. I had one for a car payment because I was saving for like 4 years because I knew it was coming. I had another one for Christmas.
Okay.
Because Christmas is always a surprise to me. So I was like, let me put that money away for Christmas.
Weird how it's the same day every year.
I know. And I was like, I should know when this is coming. So like food, honestly, the dog envelope became the most expensive envelope.
So I want to say that you're not a rookie budgeter. You're doing the right things.
I don't think so, Michelle.
I think you're doing well because at the very minimum, I recommend having at least 2 accounts, right? The fixed expenses, what bills. You're doing, right? So anything that you have to pay where there's a consequence if you don't pay it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Jail.
Well, no lights, no water,
okay,
foreclosure, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Get kicked out. And then there's the variable expenses, and you just named them, right?
I did.
Gas, dresses,
food.
Food is variable, by the way. Like people think
it is. It depends on how much I like my kids that week and whether I'm just feeding myself.
Or do you go to the grocery store hungry?
Yes.
Or is there something on sale or not? But you have to go down a little bit further. And then within those, because fixed expenses, we add them up and we know what they are, right? They're
right. They don't change.
Fluctuate like certain bills, but then variable. And that's where everyone gets tripped up. What are we spending money on that we shouldn't be spending money on? Or what are we allocating? The variables where you need the categories so that you can know how much you really have left over. And then the third area is goals. Like you said, you knew it was coming with the car, so you were putting money away.
I did do that.
Okay.
So, are you a proponent of out of your budget, this much should go to savings?
Pay yourself first. Yes.
Do you have savings? Does everybody have savings? I don't have money left over.
What's the average savings in the U.S. for a person?
In a year?
No, what they have in their savings account.
The average?
Average.
And this is including a 4? Is this
no? This is a savings
account. Just
account.
I have this cash and savings.
Correct.
That's got to be low. I'm gonna. I don't know.
people are saying, okay,
5,000?
20,000.
That's good.
It's about $10,000 in a savings account, right?
Is wine a category?
Yes.
Important.
I guess it can go in. It's a grape. I guess it can go in your grocery bill.
So the average savings people have is 5,000.
10,000.
10,000.
10,000. Yes. 10,000. But let me go back. What's the average debt?
Oh, you mean like credit cards or mortgage?
Non-mortgage.
What about car? You counting car?
No.
Okay, so average
non-mortgage debt.
So car? No car. No car, no mortgage. All right, so just debt that you carry from month to month because maybe you spend too much money. That's not good. I'm going to say 15.
What does everyone else think? 50, 17. So I have it broken down by...
Somebody said average debt 50,000, 17,000, 20,000.
They're about right. So it's like 18 to 29-year-olds, 12,800. 30 to 39-year-olds, 26,000. 40 to 49-year-olds, my people, 27,000. 50 to 59-year-olds, 23. 60 to 69, 16,000. And then 70 or older, about 9,800 in debt.
Wow. And that's the average?
The average, right? And it's broken down by, like per cap, like we like kind of look at, like they do statistically, what everyone per age, and then they take the total debt. So like 18 to 29-year-olds, there's 69 billion total debt. And then they
right. Oh, yeah. I got it.
But we're also like, I don't even know if the envelope system works anymore because people don't use cash.
I know.
But something that you can do is if you tend to once you get your categories, if you tend to overspend, you can cash out those categories.
Huh? What does that mean?
So what's something you overspend? What's something that people overspend on and they want to admit it?
Food or going out to eat. Out to eat.
Yes,
That's a big one. Because I just want everybody to know you could used to be able to go out to eat twice a month and live a fine life. But if you go out to eat twice a month now, you can't afford groceries for probably half the month because it's so ridiculous to eat out.
But you had a good meal.
But I do, and I have a great time. And then I cried. But go ahead. What were you going to say? So that's the category where I over budget.
To eat that you're spending.
Michelle,
so much.
it's just so well, the booze alone, Michelle.
The booze, right? That's a topic for another day.
And stay off the Amazon.
The Amazon. That's a category in the budget, though. Booze.
All right. So you said cash out a category. So let's say that I overspend on it.
So
eating out.
Okay. So like at the beginning of the month, you go and it's food. You go and once you identify what your budget is for food, you take that out in cash.
Well, wait, here's my thing. I have a food budget, which is the food I buy from home. And then I have the going out budget.
Okay. So then you take your going out money and you cash it out. Put it in your wallet. And when you go to the restaurant, you pay in cash.
But it'll be gone, Michelle.
I know, but then you won't go out a second time.
Then how am I going to go out again?
You're not. That's the point. Because Michelle, you're staying in budget.
You're the party pooper.
I know, buzzkill. That's my job. Buzzkill Michelle.
Now Michelle will know. Every time we go out, she'll be like, "Have you been out already?" I'll be like, "Yes," and then she'll be like,
"How much do you have left?"
Yeah, you shouldn't be eating that.
Let's see put your money on the table. We'll see what you can afford on the menu.
Like, where are we going? I'm like, well, I have these $2.
It's weird that Dina always orders the kids' meal.
Missy's like, I'm so sad now.
Why?
Because you're making people face the reality of what they can afford, Michelle, and nobody wants that.
Okay, what's worse? Facing that or the anxiety and stress that you have constantly from not having enough money to cover the budget or overdrawing your account and then paying the bank fees.
When I find this out, am I currently having a meal outside of the home? Am I having margaritas with Shakendra when I find out that I can't pay for it? Well, because then I'd be like, well, at least we had a good time.
But who's paying for it then?
Shakendra. I knew you. Shakendra's like, girl, I'm not paying your bill.
Shakendra. Well, and you can't get your date to pay for it now because there's this whole movement of,
What's the movement?
You don't know about this?
No, tell me the movement.
It's like, well, there's this lady, she's called like the sprinkle lady, and she says how like guys.
Okay, first of all, I don't think anybody should call themselves the sprinkle lady. That makes it sound like you just peed all over a toilet. What does that sprinkle mean?
It means that people should sprinkle you with money and gifts. So then there's a response to that the response for the people that should be sprinkling you with gifts is that they're not going to do that. So not all of them, but some of them, they want to, when you go out on a date, they want to split the bill in half, 50-50. So how are you going to pay your half of the bill?
You have just laid a lot of stuff on me, and I'm just trying to get past the sprinkles. Is that a strip club? I think it is.
You guys.
Are you saying there's a lady like on the internet called the sprinkle lady?
Yes. She's on TikTok.
The sprinkle lady. And she goes around telling people that everybody should sprinkle you with gifts. Is that it?
Everyone, but the person that wants your attention.
And do people like her?
People love her.
People love her.
Love her.
Because she says you should be in a position where people are giving you, like guys, like suitors,
yes,
would be sprinkling you with gifts.
They should, yes, and they should pay the bill.
All the time on every date?
Yes.
Every date?
Yes.
No, I would not want that.
Why?
I just sprinkled laughing. Missy got her own sprinkle account. Very different. Very different. So, and this doesn't come across as like slightly vacuous or anything on the internet?
I feel like you just used a word I don't understand.
Like a sugar. You're looking for sugar daddy. Does it come across that way, or is she like saying, "Ladies, you deserve this. You should wait and find somebody who values you like that"?
I think a little bit of both, but basically, she's advocating that you're worthy to be taken care of, and that you don't have to. If you only have $2 left in your wallet, you shouldn't worry about it. He should worry about it. I'm just saying. You can't be a sugar mama too if you don't budget.
This is crazy.
Oh, gold digger.
Because so like, let me ask this. Let's pretend that you're newly single, perhaps on the dating realm.
Yeah.
If I was going on a date, I would not feel comfortable with the guy. Like I would always offer. I'd be like, hey, do you want to split this? I'm hoping that at least on the first date, they're like, I would get it. But if you're dating somebody for a while, don't you think you would? Or is she saying, no, he pays every time?
He pays every time. I'm like you. I feel the same way because I also don't want to like feel like I owe someone something.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But then some men think that's like acting masculine and they don't like that either. Like if you offer to pay or you pay. Like it's all relative to, I guess, like the person. But basically she's an advocate for us not really paying for things, for variable things or fixed things or anything. But I'm just saying, I know this conversation always goes sideways. We always talk about why do we always get to talking about?
Have you met me, Michelle? The whole show does
You're
this.
Neurodivergent.
So somebody said, how many of you buy Lululemon? I have a friend that could remodel my kitchen with her 15 pairs of leggings, $100 a piece. What is happening?
Correct. But you can, see, this is the thing. I'm also a believer that if you find something that I'd rather have one dress that I really like than 6 dresses that I don't like.
Exactly.
So be okay with the $100 legging purchase if I wear them. Because do you ever go like
all 15
and you like, I have all these clothes that I don't wear?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get down to it.
I have one pair of Lululemon pants.
Okay.
So I feel like, yeah.
Okay.
When I have 2 legs, I wear them to the gym. But like, I don't need 15 of them. I'm like, I should do laundry.
Right.
So,
but people have clothing is, I'm going to say a category that many people overspend on.
So when you say cash out a category, you mean if you are consistently overspending in one of your categories, then put some discipline in yourself, cash it out, put it in your pocket and make it real money.
Yes.
Which is essentially what the Chinese envelope system says.
Correct.
But it's hard to do that on, like you're saying, on your debit because it's all commingled. It's the commingled. It's the dirty word again.
The dirty word. That's why you have to have separate accounts.
Separate envelopes.
Or if you're consistently overspending and like let's say you can't really use cash on Amazon, right?
Right.
You could go wild, and take the cash and buy Amazon gift card. Or you could just put it into like a separate account where it's just debit, not credit. So then you would know if you had your method of payment.
Yeah.
For that purpose.
So, well, that was the one thing I think that I learned was that, at one point we only had one account and I was pulling from it. And Jim's like, you can't pull this much because the mortgage is going to come out of this account and and he was always very protective. He was like, like you're saying, there has to be an account where we don't touch it and they don't turn the electric off. And then this one has a little bit, but I probably should have another one that would just be for savings. Like, how much do you think that people, like, if somebody here is not a saver or says, I don't think it's in my budget, like, are you saying to put that ahead of regular spending on the regular? Like,
I'm saying put that ahead of the Lululemon leggings for sure. So I would say you have, let's say, 3 accounts. Okay. One is your fixed bills, like you said, because then that causes a lot of communication issues in marriages and stress. Money can be an issue because it's like, oh, well, you overspent. And I have, especially in the day of like auto draft, bills are just coming out and we're not like paying attention. So all of the fixed expenses in one account. Then the other account is discretionary spending. Then the other account is savings. But let's say I'm going to use a simple number. Let's say we have, let's say you make $1,000 a month. Okay. You're putting $500 in the fixed account expenses. Now, right. I know this
pays all the bills.
Pays every
right.
fixed expenses.
Okay.
Right? Then how much is going in the discretionary account and how much is going in the savings?
All of it goes into discretionary.
Then
so
when are you
Leslie just said, she says 10% of every paycheck for savings. Like, what do you think is a good number?
That's all relative to, and we work on that with people one-on-one when we go through like the planning, but that it really is all relative to what your financial goals and what your savings goals are. But if you don't have those established, how do you know?
Let me stop you right there, Michelle.
People need goals.
What is a financial goal?
Well,
when you say that, what are you saying to me?
Well, it looks different for everyone. For some people, it's Botox. For some people, it's buying a new car. For some people, it's just saving so they have that sense of security. For some people, it's they want to, And
is that separate than your retirement?
Yes. Retirement is the later.
Okay, but am I supposed to be putting money in retirement too?
Yes. Both. Because you're thinking, listen, I want you to come to yoga. I'm a present moment girl. I want to live in this moment. But I also want you to not be stressed if you make it to the next one.
All right. So Edward said something earlier. Said earlier, I save like I am paying myself.
Yes. It's a bill. That is sage advice. I agree with that 100%.
All right.
You should.
Is paying off debt a higher priority over savings? This is a great question.
This is a great question, right? And this is an age-old debate. I think and we have this a lot. People say, well, should I pay off my mortgage or should I pay off my car? First thing that we look at are are there any advantages to keeping the debt? So, sometimes depending on where you live, because of the way that, the tax code is, sometimes mortgage debt can be written off on your taxes, meaning some of the interest that you pay, right? And then there's student loan debt. And then there's also like vehicle debt. When you look at the interest that you're paying on that debt, that's a huge thing. So if your interest, and if you're only paying interest a lot of times, because a lot of people are just paying the interest on their credit card debt every month. So then I would say, yes, you should work hard to try to get that debt paid off. Because if you went back and looked at all the interest that you're paying, you like that bathing suit that you bought 3 years ago, you're still paying for it now if you're carrying that variable balance. But you also need a savings safety net. But I'm a huge advocate of paying off the debt first, because if not, you're never going to get to that savings because you're on this wheel of, constantly just allocating. And then what a lot of people do is they pay a certain amount on their credit card and then they just go and charge it right back up. So it's not, and we're not taught to have these like savings and these categories, right?
No.
And like you said, you knew the car purchase was coming. That's a savings goal. So you started stocking money away.
I did.
Right?
I did. I was paying a car payment for a few years before because I knew it was going to come along. I mean, my car was already a used car when I bought it, and
And then when you were saving that money every month, how did that feel?
I did not like it, Michelle. And but I do think it set me up for this car, so that I wasn't having to put as much down because I had already put away a bunch of money so I could get the car that I wanted. But
what didn't you like about it?
About what?
About the saving.
I don't like having debt. I'm not a fan. Like, I really do believe like what my grandpa had told my mom, which is like, if you can afford it, then have it in cash and pay. But that's just not an option, as things are getting more and more expensive. You can have a nice nest egg, but if it's still not enough.
Yeah.
I realize I have to cut back on spending, but sometimes I feel like I just spent all the money. Yeah.
Yes. Well, so someone said, this is a good point. If you free money, if your company does have a match in a 401k, then yes, that's a great point. You should contribute at least to what the match is. So always I say, start with your budget. And I like a zero-based budget too. So you just basically,
what does that mean?
It means you don't back into it by saying, okay, I make $1,000 a month.
Right.
So I'm going to find something to spend all $1,000 on. You sit down.
Do people do that? I don't. Who does that?
Everybody who doesn't move money into their savings account.
I see where you're going.
Right? Uh-huh. So you sit down and you write down all your expenses. And then again, fixed expenses, variable expenses. And then you really start tracking your variable expenses closely.
So here's what I've heard you say so far, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say it's $1,000 budget, which isn't real. These are just numbers, round numbers. 500 goes to fixed expenses. I now have 500 left. You're saying that I should sit down and I should say, how much do I want to pay Dina to put into savings? And let's say I'm going to put $150 into savings every month.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm left with $350. So now I have to take that $350. And if my dog needs more medicine because they're all ridiculous and I have $5 left, then that's what my budget is for them.
Then you might have to borrow some from your savings and then pay it back. But thank God you had the savings. Because what if you didn't have the savings and your dog needed the medicine?
I don't know if I'm the kind of person that'll let borrow money from people. Wait,
even yourself?
Even myself. So Joey Joe just said, how do you feel about companies that will put your credit cards together to pay off, like debt consolidation?
I feel like it depends on the company. And then you also have to know, it can be good for people who are compulsive spenders. And because a lot of times those companies, in my experience with clients who've used them, is during that time, you're not allowed to use the credit cards. So it can be good discipline, right? So they'll put them all together. They can negotiate lower interest rates for you. But a lot of times you can, not always, but you can call the credit card companies and ask for a lower interest rate. That is one thing. Doesn't mean that they'll always give it to you, but they will periodically review your account, just like they will for a credit increase. And sometimes they will also lower your interest rate. So I tell people carrying balances, you should do that. But it is a good method to answer his question, especially for people if they need like discipline. But obviously you have to look into that because sometimes it can affect your credit score depending on how they consolidate. But so can carrying high balances. So it just depends on what you need. But I think most people could be more disciplined in their spending. I also think most people, unpopular opinion, have more money in their budget than they realize. Not always, but I think when they look at their discretionary spending, it's probably on things that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things I figured out, going from double income to now single income and now kids in college and all of that, is I sat down and I looked at everything I was spending, and it was a ridiculous amount on food. And I ended up throwing half of it away. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm the only one here. And so I've had to really just lean into trying to make, Al the plumber's calling. Let's call him back later.
You didn't answer?
I know. Last time it went sideways for sure. So I'll see him later today.
So I think so we established that on the budget side, right? And then we look at, once we get the budget, then we have to have savings goals. So then it's like, what are we saving for?
So that would be, like you said, a car, or it could be your savings overall. Somebody had said earlier about a retirement account? Should you have more than one retirement? Like, I think it's amazing when people say, I have had some real jobs, but for most of my life, I've been an entrepreneur. And so nobody's matching anything.
Right.
It's amazing to me that a company would match. I'm like, they're going to give you that money?
Yeah.
So and everybody said always max that out, right?
Yes. Especially the match part, because usually there could be like a vesting, like you have to stay there a certain amount of years before you're vested in the portion they get you, but you always are vested in the portion you put in. But yes, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's saving for later. So when you like, okay, you're saving for the car and it's like, oh, I can't buy, this month because I have to save for the car. But then when it was time to purchase the car, how did you feel? Let's talk about feelings. How did you feel?
And with a nice nest egg.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I love my car.
And was it worth it to have? It was worth it because then first of all, it changes like maybe what you can shop for, what you can afford. And you didn't miss anything that you didn't buy during the time.
No.
You weren't like, man, I really wish I would have gotten that other pair of
No, because I kind of trained myself that money was just gone. I was just like, yeah.
That's the whole pay yourself thing first. So that's the issue. Like if you pay yourself just like you pay the fixed expense, if you're like, okay, I'm just going to every month $100, like Dina, I'm paying the Dina Blizzard University tuition, right? I'm putting $100 away every month before it's a fixed expense.
Yeah.
And then it reduces your variable. And then in addition, if you're working for a company and they're taking money out or you're saving, it makes it a lot easier because it does reduce stress when you have major expenses. Because then what happens if you don't have the money to pay a major expense? How do people usually pay it?
Ask me that one more time.
So let's say you don't have savings and you have an expense that comes up.
Yeah.
How would you pay it?
Michelle, there is a new website called OnlyFans. And it has opened a lot of doors for people.
What's your special talent?
Wait, Nicole said, is it bad to take your 401k out now?
How old are you?
Nicole, we have questions.
There's qualifiers to that.
Yeah. Feet pics. That's my answer.
Do you have good feet?
No.
They're always covered.
They're covered up in a boot.
Oh, that one's going to be all shriveled, so that's not.
Yeah.
Don't show that one.
My friend will take their credit card with the balance and open a new card with a 0 interest rate for balance trust so they can keep transferring the balance between 0 interest. Is this something wise to do? She thinks she's getting over on the company.
Well, you're not really getting over because in the short term, but at some point you have to pay the piper, right? You're going to have to pay if she's paying it off, maybe, but not if you're just like, because the 0%, it doesn't last forever, and you got to pay the balance at some point. 0% are good to pay a balance.
Barb just said, I hate having financial talks. I find the whole thing so stressful.
Everyone does. And so that's the point, because then it's just easier to just, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to bury my head in the sand. So we'll have it posted on our website, but we're going to have some budget webinars that you can attend that will help with that. Because it really is, it's just like working out, right? People are like, oh, I hate going to the gym or I hate working out. But once you get started and you're doing it consistently, it feels good and it's empowering. And then you realize like how much waste there is. It's just like
there is.
Is
it bad on your credit to have so many open lines?
It depends. And it also depends on the balances. The credit card companies do like to see a mix of responsible credit, because we've had people who are like, I don't believe in credit cards. I don't, whatever. And then, I always pay everything on time. How come I don't have a higher credit score?
Because they want you to use credit.
Because who reports you to get your credit score? The credit card companies. So it all does. It's unfortunately like a system that can feel like a setup, but it's more about using it responsibly. You can be irresponsible in other parts of your life.
Yeah. Starting and being consistent are not part of my personality. What do you say to that?
Well, then you need a personality adjustment. No.
We probably do.
Most people, it's not. And it's hard to start. It's also hard to know where to start. So then I fundamentally, if you're looking like, where can I start? First, you start by making sure you have 2 accounts and just start tracking your spending.
The have to and the discretion.
Yes. Start tracking your spending. And I promise you're going to be like, wow, like, that's all. It's like when you go tap Mac, Am I the only one that still says that?
Ah,
We
those were
have
good
not.
days.
You take $20 out at Wawa or wherever for like something that costs $4. Where does the other $16 go?
Say that again. You mean I took out 20, but they charged me 4? Is that what you mean?
Well, like let's say you're like, I need to pay cash.
Okay.
Take out $20. You have buy something that's $4. You have 16 left.
Oh, now it's free. Now it's just extra. You can spend it on anything you want.
No,
Michelle.
you
It's
can't.
free money,
That's the
Michelle. It's already
problem.
out. It's already out. It's already hit the air. So it doesn't really
hit the air.
hit the air. It's not even real anymore.
It hit the air, so it's like
poof. It's yours.
No.
That's like when you give your kids, you're like, hey, go up to the store and get me some milk, and you give them $20. Then they come home with milk, and then you're like, where's my change? They're like, what? Like, I gave you $20. The milk is like $3. Where's my change? And they're like, I bought chips, and I did. That's just how it works, Michelle.
What in the Waltons are you saying?
Michelle, your kids haven't done this to you.
My kids, I would never send my kids out for milk.
How old are your kids?
Well, we're dairy free, but also, like, my kids are 14 and 16.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Where
$20? They will be charging you $20 for your dairy free.
Can we do this in the mom swap?
Yes.
Can you send
We're gonna do a
kids
mom swap.
Yes, because we want to see if like our parenting styles would maybe.
It would be similar to wife swap, but there's no husband. It's just moms and kids.
Mom swap.
Because I think her kids would love me, and my kids would love Michelle.
Maybe, but
and be like, maybe they'd clean for her.
If you sent them out to get milk, they might not like you.
They would have a great time. They'd be like, what can we do with the rest of the money? I go, spend it. Your mom's not.
They wouldn't come back.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, we had a great time. Where are they? I don't know.
Where's my kids? I don't know, but
They are
dairied up somewhere.
Yeah, they have diarrhea somewhere.
No, my son would spend the money.
Exactly. He would, Michelle.
He would.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to cross the street with his bike.
With me, he is.
No,
where do we live? Is it nice? Do I have a nice? Is your house nicer than mine? I'm gonna love it at your place. Let's set it up.
You're gonna love it, but there's also 3 dogs. You're gonna feel.
I have 3 dogs right at home.
At home.
Yeah.
There's also children who don't like to do laundry.
Okay.
So,
that's same here.
You're gonna feel. There's a lot.
What's the snack situation?
Oh, listen.
I'm gonna love it there.
My kids are still in school, so this isn't my dating profile. Why
it is in your dating profile? Yes. What is it? What do you say?
Single moms with like school-age kids have the best snack game.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like,
I'd like to move in today.
You can have your own bag of Doritos and pretzels, like the little ones.
Oh, you're a good mom.
I am.
My kids got nothing. Now here's Christina. My parents unfortunately passed, who were very wealthy, and let a trust in my name with 2 houses and all the things. I spoke with a lawyer. I have no idea what he told me to do. I just don't understand all the things with the trust. So for now, it just sits there. That's not good, right?
No, that's not good. You should speak with someone about that, because there's usually the trust is, you need to understand the terms of the trust. You need to understand, we're going to cover that like in next week's episode, we're going to be covering trust, but you need to understand that because there are provisions and possibly written in there on when distributions can occur, when they can occur. So and who's managing the trust, what's happening with the returns, how it's invested. There's a lot inside of there that you should understand.
And Christina, I want to apologize for your head exploding, but it sounds like you should talk to somebody. But we're going to talk about trust next week.
Her girl math and my girl math are not the same.
I know. Are the apps like Acorn that round up purchase amounts and put the extra in savings safe to join?
Yes, we've had, I do have people, I used to actually do that with Acorn. So listen, I'm not testifying in front of Congress on internet safety. And I always tell people there are, of course, provisions with like anything where people can gain information, right? But I think that a lot of the technology is advanced enough. If you do online banking, then you're probably, open to some type of, identity theft. So a lot of these companies invest significant dollars to keep your information and data safe. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but I do like the apps, certain apps, because they round up.
Victoria said, my husband has been asking me for months to start writing down what I spend, but I don't want to. And she has just described every woman in America.
Right.
Yeah, there's just something, I don't know. I did like at one point where we did split up our discretionary funds so that I could just have my money and start to learn to budget in my debit account, and he had his.
You should be, because then you wouldn't have to have the conversation about, What am I spending every month?
Right, because the way he's sending it sounds, Victoria, is like, what are you spending on? I want to know. I'm like, it's none of your business. I should have my discretionary fund. But, if it's in the sense of like, let's sit down and let's look at Michelle saying it. Let's sit down. Maybe you have some extra funds somewhere that you don't need to be spending.
And sometimes they don't understand if the grocery fairy just brings groceries in, or they don't understand what things cost. So it's like, what do you mean you spent well, this is what it costs to feed a family and all that. So, but there's probably that question's probably coming up. I'm going to venture to guess because there's some type of financial miscommunications happening, whether you're either overdrawing or, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
so the takeaways for today are, if you feel like you don't have money, or perhaps you haven't done a great job at savings, is at least at first is to separate the have to bills from the discretionary bills. And then how many categories should people have just in general?
It depends on their situation, but
everybody should have food, gas.
Yeah. Well, that's
Christmas,
in the variable
pets,
food, gas,
music lessons, kids stuff.
Outside of the
Bourbon.
Fixed expense. Yes. Subscriptions. Go look at your subscriptions, right? Things that are being like auto, that's a big one. You can say like 50, 30 here, 40 here. And then you're like, wow, that was $100 a month I was spending on things like these ship makeup to me, ship this to me, go back and like your subscriptions. Right?
And I had like a birthday account, like birthdays, graduations, like I would put like $25 in every month, because some months I have no birthdays.
Oh yeah.
And then other months I have 3 birthdays.
That's like the Christmas clubs. Remember, you could go to the bank and you would or a vacation club. Yeah. That's the other thing. So that could be a specific category. Then you're allocating money to the vacation, because how many people are like, I need a vacation, but I can't afford it. But if we went back and looked at all your Starbucks, maybe you could afford it.
Yeah.
And then they could come on the trips with you.
I know. Well, that was the thing.
That should be a financial goal.
That's a category.
That's
One funny mother is a category.
Yes, it is. We're going to have, like I said, budget webinar, which is really helpful. So, and I always think about it like a mud run, like a personal challenge. You have to push yourself sometimes in life.
Is it capwealth.com, or is there a
cap-wealth? There's a dash in the middle.
There's a dash.
Yes.
All right. So this is Michelle's website. As always, I'm going to share that with you.
OneFunnyMother, 3 categories.
Yeah. And so make sure you check out Cap Wealth if you'd like to follow up with Michelle. And we'll be talking about trust next week, which I think are really important, especially when talking about just kind of the passing on of assets or wealth in some fashion. And so that's it. And subscriptions like Hulu, Disney, Netflix, Amazon. Yeah. Does Cap Wealth, do you guys have social media?
We have some. We have, you can catch us on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's very.
You don't have an Instagram yet?
We're not allowed to have Instagram.
What?
It's very, so everything we do we have compliance, so it's monitored. So we can't always, for your protection and ours, for consumers, the way we interact, the way we market, because we're regulated by federal securities regulators. So we can have Facebook, we can have LinkedIn. So we don't have as much social media as, so I know.
Now that you're saying it, there's not I don't really see. I see like financial gurus who write books.
But they're not, because it's a gray area. I think that, obviously they're as things are evolving, this is how people are interacting. They're working to try to allow us to have that, but it's kind of limited. So, but we'll see. We're working on some things, so you may see us in some.
So people can put their feet on the internet and sell out that, and I'll just make a ton of money.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Michelle. There's a lot of fetishes.
How much can you make?
Just out of curiosity, I'm not asking for, but it's just so funny. Like, you think that for all the niche-y kind of pages there are in the universe that just only, are interesting to certain sects of people, that is fine. But teaching people about finance and giving people information to empower themselves, we're like, we're going to need that to be regulated.
Yes, we need that to be regulated.
We don't want this kind of information getting out to the public.
Right.
We want to keep this closed down.
We don't want people really knowing how to save.
We don't want that. We want that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, no. But so
wait, Victoria just said, I just told my husband what we were talking about. And he's like, good, maybe you'll listen to them.
That's true, because
I think it's good. I think it is. I think
it's empowering.
I think when you talk about finances with a spouse, perhaps if you are not the main I know I felt always at a disadvantage because I wasn't the main breadwinner in our relationship. So I always felt like well, he's making the money, so maybe he should be the one that decides what we do with it. You know, there's a lot of dynamics I think that happen in relationships with money. So I feel like sometimes when you're coming to it with just the two of you, it does feel confrontational.
It's not romantic. You need like financial therapy.
If you have like a third party to say, well, you know, what are your goals? What are your goals? I was wondering where you're going with the third party comment. No, oh, that's only fair. No, it's having somebody like Michelle or some type of financial planner.
Yes.
To just be that third person.
And also because, again, if you, let's say, even if you have the best communication and the spouse isn't whatever, what if something happened to that person and you're not aware, you're not on the same page? I can't tell you how many times we have a widow or a widower where one person was like driving the financial ship and something happens. It's a lot of catch up to do. So everyone should at least, you know,
the baseline,
fundamentally have the baseline.
And Tara said, and worse when you're a blended family in regards to money, #hate it. Do you get a lot of that where you like families are coming together?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And people are like, why are you spending that on your kids, or what? Especially because how this one raises their children, how this one raises their children is usually not the same. So then it's like, well, or there's people who, like, let's say your kid does competitive sports. People spend like, this client spends $12,000 on cheerleading, right? No judgment. But what if you're dating, what if your new spouse says like, that's crazy. That's bananas. And then is it in the joint budget? Is it not? So money for relationships, for your personal mental health, for everything can be a big stressor. So the
therapy money can kill you because it's not covered. And I get really twisted when I talk about mental health and insurance coverage because it's not there. And so many people are having to make a decision about, hey, are we going to pay for food? Or are we going to get our son or daughter or husband or wife some help? So that's, medical expenses are also a big part. So, so lots to talk about as always. So we want to thank Michelle for coming and just really ruining the day with all the debt talk. Buzzkill Michelle is back.
Wouldn't be the first time someone called me that.
But thanks for joining us as always. Hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, if you'd like to get some more information, check out cap-wealth.com. I put that in the chat. And Michelle will be back again next week. And stay tuned for some of the seminars that are coming up. I feel like more information is always better, and just make money work for you. I feel like that was something that was never really ever discussed when I was growing up or whenever. But I feel like there are small ways that we can kind of make changes in budgets.
And start having those conversations with your kids.
Yeah. Yes. About doing laundry and whatever. Michelle
during the mom swap.
I'll
work with your kids on the laundry, and you can work with my kids on the budgeting.
There it is.
Because even though they're my kids,
Victoria said, I love her. She's very gentle about it. That's you. I did not feel attacked except for the Starbucks comment. See, you've said a lot of people,
I'm probably
Michelle.
Gonna go to Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Office, but
you're part of the problem.
It's my guilty pleasure.
So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tonight for Tipsy Tuesday, and go from there. But like Judy from Saskatoon and Good Time Andrew say, do something nice for yourself and others today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day and a blessed day. And we'll see you soon. I'll see you. Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more One Funny Mother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out OneFunnyMotherStore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.